helpful, and then I'm happy to take a few questions after that. Okay? So, ANRF, Municipal National Research Foundation, our goal is to catalyze India's rise as a research and innovation powerhouse. We are a statutory body of the Government of India, presided by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. We have our GST as an administrative ministry, but we also work with all the other ministries across India. The principal scientific advisor is the chairman of our council, and that's the structure of how things are set up. So, this is a simple diagram I use to describe some of the things that ANRF is doing right now and also will do in the future. So, ANRF has a core mission, which is originated in the National Education Policy that I know folks like and this who are the audience have been instrumental in writing up. To drive the foundation transformation of our university and research ecosystem, and drive interdisciplinary collaboration, drive the excellence in our top institution, drive the distribution of excellence, broaden the distribution of excellence beyond the level of top institutions. So that was the original founding principles of ANRF. As the ANRF further went towards the Act, also recognition that we should drive and be the apex for research and innovation across stakeholders in India, and drive mission mode research and partnerships across various parts of the ecosystem, between the government sector, the non-government sector, the research sector, industry, academia, and various other pieces. So we use two different mechanisms as part of this thinking. One is the grant mechanism and the grant need focus, which is for the early parts of the DRDO. So the early parts of the DRDO is to establish the foundational capabilities and start with mission board research, which then drives the early stages of translation, the DRDOs 4, 5, 6. And then beyond that, from DRDO 4 and upwards, we have a capital program that is being put together by DST as the nodal ministry, which is the 1 lakh crore fund of the RTI fund in Calcutta. The goal of all of this is to drive and catalyze non-governmental investments that was also mentioned in the previous conversation. It is just that the first one of the lower DRDOs are more grant-need focused, whereas the higher DRDOs are more patient capital focused. Now, by patient capital, it will be some combination of loans, lending, or some other hybrid instruments that will be invested, and the capital allocation of the second part is directed at the private sector, and it's been done not directly by ANRF, but by second level fund managers who are appointed by the Executive Council and also accounted in the ANRF Executive Council as part of our special purpose fund and next 10 years, which is focused on that. And so this is the overall structure of how we think about this ANRF. So within the grants portion of our agenda, so I personally think in two frames. So one is ANRF's goal to try for horizontal investments that is meant to be much more broad-based, classic national science foundation type thinking there, where you're having proposals and ideas coming from the ecosystem that we are supporting. And as part of that, there is also various kinds of fellowships where we are investing into as opposed to investment projects. And we're also thinking about how we do things in other areas like infrastructure and drive industry and collaboration. So these programs haven't yet been announced. In the vertical area, we are looking at mission mode projects. Some of these are mission mode based on economic value chains, and the others are more societal driven based on India's challenges. Of course, there can always be some overlaps between them, but one is starting from a societal frame, the other is starting from an economic frame. A key difference in how we are at ANRF compared to other similar institutions across the world is really the emphasis on partnerships and welcoming partners at the earlier stages of the innovation cycle. And from the partners' point of view, they get the opportunity to co-invest alongside national mission, national program. And since there are many potential partners in the room, I urge you to come and talk to us and see how we can partner together. I do have already approvals to take in partners as part of our core programs. In fact, over time, we'll be making all our programs available for partnerships. So I welcome whether you're giving this capital or other forms of capabilities. We value all of them, and we could to drive that and make it available to our research ecosystem, and even kind of use that as a means to an end of collaboration. Collaboration itself as a means to an end of better return on investment for research, which again drives greater research investments. So that's the idea. So another frame of looking at just look at these foundational investments in basic translation research. And also we are investing at the intersection of social sciences, humanities, and science and technology at the interface. So we are establishing sectors. There's a call right now. And then there are these various pillars. As you can see, some of them involve uplifting and broadening distribution. Some of them are more vertical, sectoral focused. Some of them are capacity building and collaboration with research, especially and other special partnerships. And then overall, how we frame analysis and effects and coordination strategy across this. So, if you look at this in terms of programs and looking at the programs that we have been announcing or have already announced, sort of follows that category. But in addition, we are also supporting some sort of common tools and capabilities where we also platforms that we share across the system to make it easier to discover each other, to find collaborations, to drive a community of research, to have AI tools that help drive social media, using social media as a first-class platform for dissemination, and many such things. Model agreements and many other things that could help us speeding the or lessen the translation journey as well. So here are some of the programs which are landmark programs we've been running. One of them is the PAIR program, that's part of the development agenda, where we have a hub and spoke structure with the institutions that work with other spokes. And there is an early career research grant which we started this year that supports our early career researchers, both across faculty as well as the research institutions. And then the vertical mission mode projects, such as the MAHA program, which we have. This one is on mission, with more institutions. So yeah, we are putting out many such programs, but I think an important area is we need to consolidate and focus these programs into a few flagships over time, and make sure that they're coherent as opposed to having a sprawl of programs. So this is an example of the PAIR program where we have this hub and spoke structure. I want to just emphasize a little bit on the vertical missions and challenges. I want to emphasize that this slide is example candidate missions that we do. Electric mobility on RF is an example of mission. So already we are going to be doing a medtech mission shortly, and an AI science and engineering mission shortly. These are being announced soon, perhaps this next week. And there is other missions which align with various industries or various existing missions, such as the semiconductor area or other areas. So we are in active conversations with the industries, including the Ministry of Mines and Petroleum Hospitals and other things. On the other societal side, we are working with IITR and the societal culture and so on to find what we can do in terms of platforms that can spur a variety of AI and IoT and many other things, and really drive adoption to benefit rows of farmers. And similarly, every other mission we are thinking in terms of impact and working backwards on in terms of what our program could be, and targeting the program such that we do critical mass funding in some of these areas. And we will not fund many projects, but whichever projects we bet on, we would like to see them really succeed and have a good shot at success. So these are again examples of areas I have not yet lined up specifically for us to take a mission to our executive council. I would like them to be ideally the gap between ministries where we are reaching between multiple ministries, one or more ministries. We'd like to have at least one ministry, one or two ministries putting some skill in the game in terms of partnerships and so on, alongside the ANRF where we need budget as well. And then if we have non-governmental partners, they come from CSIR foundations or entities, that would be nice. And then we put that mission together forward. So right now I have a menu of possible missions, but if there are areas that we feel that mission should be launched. So, and we consider that. And of course, I will also expect help in terms of lining up ministries and support partners as well. So, just to give a sense of one of the missions we are going to launch shortly is around AI science and engineering, where our goal is to help revolutionize how we hear science and engineering, but also do it in a very open way, where these are science and engineering models that are built directly on top of AI, as well as the process of science and engineering revolutionized through AI, and also its applications to various tools, and having these platform-oriented AI blocks which can then be automatically composed as AI. So we are thinking of this as an open research projects that will be open source. We are also going to run an open source project and contests and other sorts of things, and collect all these models in a coherent way that leads to open disciplines, that will lead to reimagine the scientific groups in various areas. So that way we not only revolutionize how deep science is done, but also help the transition from deep science to the tech, and help again in a broad-based way across the spectrum. So we've been working with a few partners. We know how to do these things with foundations and so on. Our general approach is to invite partners to contribute and partner with us in our ANRF programs. We at this point do things well, so we want to focus our efforts in a few flagship programs that we can drive, and then we invite partners to invest in a subset of programs that we plan, etc. So that's the general approach we're taking. We're also using social media in interesting ways to drive impact, because impact is more than writing papers and patterns. It is also about better dissemination and better diffusion of the technology. If you're doing fundamental research, how does it reach the further stages of adoption to applied research? So if you're doing applied work, how does it diffuse to adoption and beyond? And if you're doing something that can be trusted for higher outcome. So we're creating channels for various programs. We're doing new things on social media, especially across all our programs, but we encourage all our grantees to please consider this as a first-class citizen in your pursuits. We'll also be storing all the data that's coming out of experimentation and doing other things to encourage the discovery of all the good work, hopefully then we need to get impact. To help us, we are also underwriting and starting to operate some tools. Savi is example of the platform we're doing with as well, where the goal is to convert papers into videos of various kinds in various languages. We will also have much more engaging forms of videos. Google has a wonderful notebook element which we were inspired by as part of this. So various other forms of supporting media, posters, presentations. So this is the first step into a broader open publishing platform and the So that's all I have to say. We are using social media and we're using other platforms to help support this mission. So let me stop sharing, and if there is any questions, we have to go